So you're using your bandsaw and you want to get cleaner cuts that follow the line more closely? Simple solution. All you have to do is cheat.
Greetings, fellow DIYer, and welcome to my video.
My 9-inch benchtop bandsaw. One of my go-to tools in the shop, especially after I converted it to be powered with a treadmill motor so that I could slow it down enough to cut metal. But that is a totally different video. Well, if I'm being completely honest, that is several different videos. I use this bandsaw all the time. I'm cutting aluminum with it, I'm cutting steel with it, I'm following a curved line, I'm following a straight line. And while a bandsaw is a great way to cut something out, it's not always the cleanest way to cut something out. There's a lot of flex in that blade, even if you are lowering the guide as close to the work as you possibly can, and you inevitably end up with a little bit of a wandering around the line. So as you're cutting, the blade flexes, especially if you are slowly doing the arc of a curve. And as you move the material, the blade is actually going to twist a little bit. It's going to create pressure moving in the direction opposite of how you're moving the material. But what happens is as you're cutting along that line, it's sometimes hard to see how the blade is reacting to the line. And so sometimes you might overcompensate or undercompensate for the flex in the blade. This will result in a cut that is never smooth. You always pretty much have to clean up a cut from a bandsaw. But the rougher it is, of course, the more cleanup you have to do. Thankfully, I have a way to follow that line as closely as possible and be able to get nice clean cuts. And that is this right here. These are dental glasses. I picked these up on Amazon. There is a link in the description so that you can get a pair. And what's really nice about these is two things. First and foremost, they magnify what you're looking at a ratio of 3.5 to 1. So it's 3.5 times bigger. But more importantly, because these are dental glasses, they have a focal length of about 16 to 18 inches. Okay, he's using the word focal length, so now I'm confused. Well, focal length is basically the distance between the lens and the work. So if you're using a magnifying glass, or let's say you put on a pair of cheaters, you can pick up cheaters that are 3.5 to 1, and you can put them on, but then you have to be really close to the blade. You get your face right in there. You run the risk of getting sawdust and chips and stuff in your eyes. And if nothing else, it's not a good solution because your back's going to hurt at the end of the day. But with this, you can stand up, you can be the right distance. Now, in the case of my bandsaw, I actually had to raise the bandsaw up to achieve that perfect distance. When I had it on a lower bench, I found myself having to crouch to get close enough to achieve that 16 to 18 inch distance. But by putting it about 5 feet off the ground, that was just perfect for my height. I can put these glasses on, and this magnifies everything so that I can follow that line super close, and I get a perfect cut, or as near perfect cut as you're gonna get with a bandsaw by using these. Now, I'm sure there are those of you out there that are saying, well, if he's getting a bad cut, he must not be very good at using the bandsaw. If you have any experience using a bandsaw, especially if you're using a very narrow blade like I am, it's only 1/4 inch. So as I start to make a curve, or I start to put pressure to cause the blade to cut in a curve, it's going to flex that blade. That blade is so thin, there's just not a lot of support there. But by cheating, by using these glasses to magnify what I'm looking at, it makes all the difference in the world. Now, rather than taking my word for it, let's see if we can set the camera up in front of the bandsaw, and I will show you what a difference these make. Sadly, I won't be able to cut anything because I can't put these in front of the camera and put them on my head at the same time. I haven't figured out the temporal mechanics for that. But I will be able to show you a piece of aluminum with a line on it and how much easier it is to see it in relation to the blade. So there's my bandsaw with the piece of aluminum already partway cut through. And I've used a blue line, and I would be following on the outside of that blue line. So we're not actually cutting the line, we're cutting next to the line. Now, if you look at that, can you see it very well? I mean, you can see it. You can see the blade is right next to the line. But it would be a whole lot better if you could see it a whole lot closer. So now let's put the glasses on. Look at how much bigger that got and how much clearer that got. Now, I do apologize. I am holding these glasses up to my phone. So it's not the best footage, but it definitely shows the difference. You can now easily see the blade. You can easily see the line, and you can more accurately follow the line and adjust as you are making cuts, especially if those cuts are curved or have any movement to them. So once again, there it is magnified. There it is without the magnification. And the difference is night and day. I do have one cautionary note. When using magnifiers like this, make sure that your fingers do not get anywhere near the blade. It's really easy to lose perspective, and if you reach in to grab that piece of metal and get it anywhere near the blade, you may actually overshoot and end up cutting yourself. This is hands down one of the best accessories I have purchased for my bandsaw. It has made my cuts a whole bunch cleaner, a whole bunch better, and frankly, I recommend this to anyone who's doing any kind of metal work in a shop that requires you to use a bandsaw to make cuts that have any kind of curve or motion to them. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them down in the comments.
If you like what you've seen, please click like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.